Hi everyone, Lady Rose here with you today, and today I'm doing another herbal tutorial, and today we're talking about mugwort. So mugwort is actually considered the queen of the witch's herbs. So it's a very powerful herb. It's also called the traveler's herb. So here's what it looks like in one of my packages if you were to buy it, and here's the bottle of it. Now mugwort can come in many different forms. I sell it in the bottle as an herb kind of thing, and I've got a little sample here for you because it's also called the traveler's herb, and what I wanted to show you is it's actually quite spongy and mushy. It grows in ditches and swampy type areas. It can also grow in rocky areas. It doesn't need good soil, which is great. But yeah, it's quite spongy, and it's called the traveler's herb because Roman soldiers actually used to put it in their shoes when they had to go on long marches, because it kind of acts like a gel insole, but sort of a Mother Nature's version of a gel insole. But also too, they didn't wear socks very often back then, so the herb, sort of like your skin can absorb mugwort. It's one of the few herbs that you can absorb through the skin. So when I'm packing up these herb bottles, I have to be careful how much I'm handling it. And not that it's an herb that's really bad for you. In large doses, it is a danger to your liver, and it should not be used or come in contact with pregnant or nursing mothers, pregnant women or nursing mothers. It can also come in a sage type, well, not a sage, but a smudge form. So when I use this smudge, and you can see my other video, I'll try and link it down below in the description of how to smudge properly. You'll find out one of my pet peeves is don't light this like it's a big cigar, and especially with mugwort, you don't want to do that. But I do show you how to do a proper smudging and what to burn and how to burn it and that sort of thing. But with this, when I use this with clients, I often warn them that they're going to have some very vivid dreams that night. And I would say almost everyone that ever gets like a Reiki treatment where I'm smudging with mugwort, or if I'm doing some kind of sound bath or some kind of healing session where I'm using the mugwort smudge, almost all of them have come back and said, yeah, I really had some powerful dreams. So there's a lot that mugwort does. Like I said, it's the queen of the witch's herbs. So this is the information sheet that you get with it, but there's some extra little information as well. So like I said, it is the traveler's herb. It is very popular for me to sell it to moms because it's also the traveler's herb modern day, because if you sprinkle it in your car, it helps to protect you against car accidents. So a lot of moms who have kids going off to college and university, or are doing road trips with friends, will often secretly even sprinkle it in their children's cars so that hopefully there's no accidents, kind of thing. So it's also said it was worn in the protective belt of Thor, the god Thor. It's used in midsummer rituals, much like heather was, that I talked about yesterday. I've got that video up now too. It's burned to keep evil away and bring good luck for the year. So you burn it at the midsummer or the summer solstice rituals, and it keeps evil away and brings good luck. It's connected to the moon. It's associated with the goddess Artemis, who is the goddess of the moon. And it's often used in teas and flying ointments, quote unquote flying ointments, right? So that's mugwort is part of where witches got that, what do you call it? That, flying thing where they go flying, because often they had some mugwort and there was a ritual that they would often do around the fields with the brooms, and so they were flying on the mugwort and doing this ritual around the brooms, or with the brooms around the fields to bring the fertility of the fields and blessing of the fields. So that's kind of where flying on brooms got connected with witches, because it was the wise women or the country folk that would do this. It's for scrying. You can burn it with sandalwood or wormwood to have more in-depth kind of readings, and they say it makes a really good wash for your crystal balls, for your scrying mirrors. You can do that if you keep a little mugwort around your crystal ball. Like, for instance, I have a holder for my crystal ball right here, so I put a little mugwort often right in here because there's a little bit of a dip. And then when I do crystal ball readings, I don't do them very often, but when I do gaze into the ball, it helps with the clearer sort of divination and divining that way. So I'm going to put some in there right now because I got some mugwort around. Mugwort has a very potent effect on people. It opens the mind, and even as far back as our ancient sort of collective memories, it can bring us back to those and help to heal sort of family wounds and things like that, right? So one quote I had when I was doing research on mugwort, it was, I believe, from Herbal Rituals. It's a book. I'm not going to put the link below because it's really impossible to get. I can't remember the author, Jane someone or other, but it's like $700. So, I mean, if you want the link, if you have $700 to drop on a book, let me know and I'll give you the link. But the quote in there is, remembering old unwritten ways of healing. That's what mugwort can do for you. It's an opener of portals. And like I said, it opens the doors to some of our ancient memories, especially ancient family and collective memories, that sort of thing. It amplifies psychic visions, and it brings on vivid and sometimes prophetic dreams. Even if you just hang some or keep some by your bed, it will often bring on very vivid dreams, lucid dreaming. It brings that on. It also can help with astral projection or astral travel. It's very well known for that sort of thing, and that is a form of flying, so that's why it's connected with flying as well. You can go into a lot of tea shops or like health food stores, and you might find the odd flying ointment. It's sort of like a oil or a cream that you can put on to your skin, and it's very good for the pelvic area, especially for females. It's a very healing kind of herb, but again, I'm not going to go into the medical side of things. I stay more on the magical side. So back in the day, it was smoked. It's still smoked today, but back in the day, it was called sailor's tobacco because it was sort of a poor man's version of tobacco. So a lot of the sailors smoked it because they kept it on the ships because it's really good at repelling insects. So you can burn it to repel insects, including mosquitoes and things like that, but vermin and things like that don't like mugwort, so they kept it on the ships. And then when the sailors would run out of their tobacco, they would start to smoke the mugwort and it acts as a bit of a preservative as well. Back in the day when they first started brewing beer as well, they didn't always have hops, like they hadn't cultivated hops yet, so mugwort was used in place of hops. Now, it does add a bitter taste if you've ever had the tea, and you can do a tea with it. It is a very bitter tea, so keep that in mind. It's not a tea you're going to go, oh, isn't this delicious? You're drinking this tea on purpose. It's usually before you go to bed. It's often best if you mix it with something like mint or rose or a combination of that, maybe a little honey. The honey doesn't really take away the bitterness. It might cut it a little bit, but not a whole lot. And I do know from experience that this does bring on very, very vivid dreams. And it's a bit of a truth teller as well. So not only, like if you use it in divining, like if you're doing divination through your crystal ball or your scrying mirror, it's really good at cutting to the truth if you're looking for deception, as far as like, is this person being truthful with me? It's very good at detecting if there's deception. In dreams, it's good at that part of detecting deception as well, but it is also a truth teller in the fact that it will act a bit like a mirror for you, facing some of the truths you need to face, and that's where the portals of healing can sometimes come in, and it's sort of a healing that you just kind of know you need to do. Now, the first couple of dreams you have with mugwort might be a little daunting, confusing, a little like, oh my God, because they can be extremely chaotic and overwhelming, because it's kind of like you've put your subconscious on hyperdrive and now your subconscious is downloading really fast for you, and some of it can get a little confusing and a little overwhelming. So don't be worried if that's what happens. It's not a hallucinogen though. Sometimes people think it's a hallucinogen. It's not. So it just kind of stimulates that vivid dreaming, that lucid dreaming, perhaps some astral travel, that sort of thing. Like I said, you shouldn't be using it every day. You shouldn't be using it in large doses, because in large doses it can damage your liver. So don't do it every night or anything hoping for vivid dreams. It's considered the crone aspect of the goddess, so it helps to encourage wisdom, stillness, and observation. Because as you get wiser and older, you start to observe more, you start to be still more, and hopefully you start to be wiser. So this helps with those kind of aspects in your life, if that's what you want to bring into your life. Very useful in dream work and in trance states. So you don't always have to be going to sleep. You can get yourself into trance if you know how to do that through meditation, and this will help with that, whether it's through burning it on a candle, whether it's in a bath, a ritual bath, or if it's just, keeping it on you and holding it in your hands perhaps, and making a tea with it perhaps, that sort of thing. Like I said, you can hang it by your bed even. You don't have to have a tea. You can just hang it by your bed, and it's supposed to help with those dreams and astral projection. Yeah, and pregnant women need to avoid it. So like I said, I warned you that it is a very bitter tea, so it's not a tea you're going to enjoy. So you're drinking it for a very specific purpose. But it's been used for a long, long time, for centuries. It's got lots of history behind it. You can even, when you go hiking, put some in your shoes, and it will help ease the tiredness of your feet. I often would use it when I was on the festival circuit, and I would quite often put it in my shoes while I was standing there and doing whatever, selling my herbs or doing readings or whatever at different festivals. And I did find I wasn't quite as tired, I wasn't quite as worn out when I used the mugwort. So it's really good for shoes, as far as, like if you're going to be doing a lot of walking, if you're going on a tour and there's a lot of walking, if you're going to be doing a lot of hiking, it also helps, because again, your skin will absorb a little bit of it even through your socks a little bit, but it is, like I said, sort of mushy and spongy almost. So that's mugwort there for you. And again, it's available on my Etsy store, so it's up there, and you get this information sheet with it, and you can watch this video whenever you need to be reminded about what is in mugwort, or what mugwort is mugwort, but what you can do with mugwort. And I would encourage you to help support me to be able to continue doing these videos and tutorials of the herbal wisdom series that I have going, and my other videos as well. You can do that by making a donation, any size, it doesn't matter. It could be $1, it could be $10, it doesn't really matter. I appreciate all of them. And I'll put my email address up there. You can do it through PayPal or e-transfer, or you can go to my shop and you can purchase some of my herbs. Like I said, you can purchase the mugwort. I have right now 23 herbs up there, and I have quite a few more to go up there. I also have my magical mixtures, so that's another way that you can support me. And I would appreciate if you subscribe and like this video, share it with your friends, for anyone that wants to know about this information as well. I would like to invite you to follow me on Instagram at Lady Rose Tarot, or on Facebook, or on both at Goddess Garage Tarot Parlor. I'll put the links below if you want to follow me on either of those platforms. And I thank you once again for being here with me to learn a little bit more about mugwort. Okay, take care. Bye.